What's up, guys? Welcome to the Burn Moment recap show for UFC 290 International Fight Week. I just gotta say this before we get started. The atmosphere at T-Mobile Arena last night was insane. It was like I was at the Super Bowl.
It was insane, and the card definitely lived up to it. There was 4 fights that ended in less than 1 minute. Just think about that. 4 fights ended in less than 1 minute. Nonetheless, it was an amazing card. We are now back home in the Burn Factory loft. We haven't had time to set up our gear because we were filming episodes in Las Vegas. Nonetheless, we got to bring you guys our Burn Moment recap show. So me and Priest will each be picking one burn moment that we saw out of any fight of the night. And a burn moment is just a super hard time in your life. In this case, in a fight where a fighter just has to dig deep and push through to ultimately get the win.
My first burn moment is going to Denise Gooms. What a performance against Yasmin. She was a minus 325 favorite. 10-0, undefeated, goes out there, knocks her out within 20 seconds. But my burn moment came before all of that. She made it on Dana White Contender Series back in August of 2022. Her UFC debut, loses to Loma. After that fight, she's been on a tear, beating Bruna Bazil, and then going out there and beating a 10-0 favorite in Yasmin in 20 seconds. That's my burn moment.
She looked incredible, man. On the feet, she just came out guns blazing.
Yeah,
she wasn't scared of a 10-0 up-and-coming girl being an over plus 300 underdog and going out there and stopping her in 20 seconds.
Yeah, that first right hand she landed, just bing, and then she landed another one, and boom, all she wrote.
It was over. Watch out for her, man. Her confidence is starting to brew and get better, and she's getting better, and she's getting better. I wouldn't be surprised if she's in the top 15 come soon. I think she's that good, but that's a good burn moment pick. There's so many fights that you could pick a burn moment in, but moving into my burn moment, it's got to be Dan Hooker, man. That dude against Jalen Turner, what an amazing fight. But I believe that Dan Hooker's burn moment came at the 2-minute and 48-second mark of the second round. You might be thinking, well, that's when Jalen Turner landed the head kick. You're right. Jalen Turner lands one of the most flush head kicks I've ever seen in my entire life, and Dan Hooker just ate it. He ate it. He stayed composed. But I believe that was his burn moment because from that point forward, he stopped going backwards. He fought majority of the fight on the outside, just circling, waiting for Jalen Turner to go. But after that moment, he was like, you know what? No. I'm going to walk Jalen Turner down. He started walking him down. He started piecing him up. He even rocked him towards the end of the second round. And then give 3 more seconds, he chokes him out and wins a fight. So I believe Dan Hooker just fought through one of the biggest burn moments he could have ever been through because he was losing that fight pretty badly up until that point. But he dug deep, he fought through, and now he's on a 2-fight win streak, and he's right back in the contender mix. So shout out to Dan Hooker for that.
Tell you what, that head kick Jalen landed on him, 9 out of the 10 fighters would go down, guarantee. That was nasty.
I mean, Dan Hooker's just a dog. He literally fought through a half of a fight with a broken arm. That's insane to me. He fought that whole second round, beating Jalen Turner up, almost finishing him in the fight, and then in the third round comes out, starts to wrestle him, and ends up winning the fight all with one arm.
Tell you what, there can be 2 burn moments within one fighter.
But I'm so happy for Dan Hooker. I mean, he's had a tough couple of rides. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights, and then he comes in, wins a fight, and now he's back into the winner's circle. So shout out to Dan Hooker for that. But Priest, I got a little question for you before we end this video.
Uh-oh.
And this is for you guys as well.
Uh-oh.
Say a fighter has won the first 4-ish minutes of the round. 4-ish minutes. That's almost the entire round. They win. And it's pretty decisively. They're landing big shots. They're hurting them. They're stunning them. And then the last 50 seconds of the round, they themselves, who have been winning the round, gets caught with a nice punch, a nice flurry of punches. They don't go down or anything. They're kind of on the fences, just trying to stay composed, blocking themselves, covering up. And then they end up getting taken to the ground and put in a choke for the last 5 seconds of the round. Who wins the round?
The guy who was dominating the first 4.5 minutes of the round.
You think so?
Yes.
The guy who's won the first 4 minutes of the round compared to
Yes.
the guy who has this late flurry in the round,
Yes.
I agree. I think judges have gotten so consumed with recency of a round. If you guys don't know what fight I'm talking about the Jalen Turner fight. In the second round, Jalen Turner was putting it on Dan Hooker for 4 minutes. And then he kind of gets a little tired, he kind of gets a little fatigued, and he gets caught with a few good punches. He's up against the fence, just kind of protecting himself, not in a ton of danger, doesn't get dropped. And yet they give Dan Hooker that round? You're supposed to score a fight by the entirety of the round. At this point in judging, you might as well just coast the first 2.5 minutes of the round and then just go all out for the last half of the round, because that's how the judges have been judging these fights. It's not by recency. Just because this guy looked very good for the last minute of the round doesn't mean he won the entirety of the round after Jalen Turner did some really good stuff at the beginning of the second round. For the majority of the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, am I the only one who thinks this? Am I the only one who sees this?
No. I mean, you can see the trend, how it's starting to take effect in all the fights.
I mean, you saw it almost in the Pantoja fight. Like, Brandon Moreno was doing some really good stuff on the feet, and then the last 1.5 to 2 minutes of the round, Pantoja gets a takedown after he was getting pieced up on the feet, and they give it to Pantoja. I'm not saying Brandon Moreno won the fight, but I'm just saying the way that they're judging these rounds, there's got to be a change, man. You can't just judge a round based on the last minute to minute and a half. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Anyways, that will do it for the Burn Moment recap show. Phenix had a great burn moment for Dan Hooker, getting that head kick taken to him, which I thought during the fight he was going to go out. And my burn moment going to Denise Gooms. Shout out to her. What a performance. And stay tuned for her because she might come on the podcast someday.
Let's go. Like always, like, comment, and subscribe at the Burn Factory Podcast. We'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.
This is the Burn Factory.